Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. This is the December 9th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. A whole lot going on. Dynamic storm system pressing through the eastern United States today, and a lot of impacts in a lot of places. Let me show you the big view on the radar. This is from 5:20 this morning, and you had heavy snow up in southern New England and back in the Great Lakes and the Midwestern states. This has been a tremendous winter storm. And then you have a band of rain and thunderstorms down south of that snow area this morning. Now, this is a look at all the various weather warnings and advisories that are out across the country, and there's a lot of wind advisories out. That's sort of the tant shading you see in a lot of places in the eastern U.S. Up where all the snow is falling, you have blizzard warnings in effect in a lot of places, and that's in a lot of places due to some blowing snow that's already occurred. And a couple tornado watches were also in effect at the time I'm cutting this video. One in eastern North Carolina, one down in Georgia, and southeastern Alabama. Across the Carolinas, band of rain with embedded thunder and lightning has been pushing through the Piedmont zones this morning. Pretty impressive that you have temperatures in the 30s with a thunderstorm, but that's what has occurred in places around the Charlotte and Triad zones this morning. But the rain will be pushing out in short order. In fact, if you're watching this video by lunchtime or afternoon, the rain's gone. And that's how the map looks on the 6Z run of the GFS, valid at 1 o'clock this afternoon. The rain chance pressing eastward, but winds are going to be a problem today. Let me show you a product here. This may be a little tough to see, but this is a look at the 10-meter wind speed just above the surface, and those shades of red in terms of the wind speed across much of the Piedmont of North and South Carolina. Those are sustained 10-meter winds in the 20 to 25 knot category. So we're going to be looking at sustained winds today, 25, 30 miles an hour, gusts to 40 or 45, maybe 50 or 55 at times, and that's going to be enough to down some trees and power poles, I'm afraid, with the saturated ground from all the rain we've just seen. So wind is a big problem today, and for that reason you have a high wind warning for all these counties that are in that deeper shade of tan or brown there, from the mountains down through the Charlotte zone up into the southwestern part of the Triad. High wind warning today, and the winds will subside in fairly short order this evening as colder air plunges in. We'll drop down to the low to mid 30s tonight. Well, it'd be interesting to see. These cold air masses have really overperformed a lot of times on modeling. I've gone a little below modeling with lows tonight. We'll see how it pans out, see if again we can beat those numbers. This is serious cold, by the way, that's coming in. We're talking temperatures in the teens below zero in Denver and Casper, Wyoming this morning. And that Arctic air is heading in. This is a look tomorrow, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That is a pure Arctic high pressure over the Ozarks. And we'll see highs tomorrow in the 40s with a good bit of sunshine. Down into the 20s, well down into the 20s for lows Friday morning. Then it looks like Friday will feature highs at best in the low 40s as that Arctic air really takes hold. Dew point temperatures could drop below zero in some spots around the Piedmont as Friday unfolds. And then we're set to watch the system roll through this weekend. Still a lot of model disagreement here, and the general trend on the modeling has been for this to be a little bit of a drier system and the timing of this to be a little slower in the weekend. Again, this is the 6Z run of the GFS. This is 7 o'clock Saturday morning. Still has us dry now across the Piedmont of North Carolina. By 7 p.m., precip tries to begin to push in. Very well defined cold air damming signature here on the modeling. Those kinking, the kinking there, the isobars clearly indicating that wedging occurring from a high pressure up that slowly retreats up toward the Ohio Valley and especially southern New England. Let's go 6 more hours out in the future. This is 1 o'clock in the morning Sunday. Very well defined cold air damming as that high retreats to New England, and still a good cold air damming signature showing up at 7 o'clock Sunday morning. Low pressure near the Carolina coast, precip falling, and things wind down by Sunday evening. Not much of a cold air damming signature left as that high retreats farther northward. But by that point in time, the precip's pretty much over. So again, let's go through this. Just look at the precip here in the GFS. This is 7 p.m. on Saturday. Most of the precip begins to fall Saturday evening on the GFS, and still a pretty good amount of precip Saturday night through the overnight hours before it tapers off Sunday. The question is, what precip type? Well, this is the European. And notice this is 7 o'clock in the evening Saturday. It's still very dry. Relative humidity is up about 5,000 feet. So no precip yet at 7 o'clock in the evening on the European. It moves in after that. And in terms of temperatures on the European, we're still looking at 850 millibar or 5,000 foot temperatures, 2 to 4 degrees Celsius. So not a lot of change in that department. Interestingly enough, this not normally even really worth looking at, but I wanted to show you this. The no gaps, typically one of the most suppressed models. It really brings a lot of moisture in here. This is, again, Saturday evening, 7 o'clock. A lot of the precip's already occurred, and then it pulls on off to the east. Actually, I got those out of order. This is, let's see, that is Saturday. It looks like we got our time frames missed. Okay, here you go. Yeah, this is no gaps model. This is Saturday evening, 7 o'clock. The precip moving on through, and I wanted to show you this. This is the Canadian model, 7 o'clock in the evening, still completely dry. So you can see a lot of the modeling really disagreeing on the timing of this, but the general idea here has been for the event to slow down on the modeling. And one more chart here. This is the Canadian at 7 o'clock Sunday morning. The precip very, very light, not a big event on the latest 0Z run of the Canadian. So what am I thinking? Well, again, the modeling is in most cases slowed things down, but still it's a pretty cold and dry air mass in place as the precip moves in. So I still think there's a potential for a wintry mix across the Piedmont zones of North and South Carolina. It may just very well hold off until late in the day, Saturday or even Saturday night. I'm leaning toward this not being a huge event with major impacts, but don't hold me to that just yet. We're going to have to get the timing nailed down before I can really feel confident about what type or duration of precip we might see. So just going to kind of broad brush today. Wintry mix possible late Saturday, Saturday night into Sunday morning, and we'll have to continue to fine-tune those details for you. After that, we go out here to Monday. Pretty quiet weather day Monday. Another big charge of Arctic air gathering and beginning to push its way on down. This is Tuesday evening. Next storm system moves through. There's been anything from a raging snowstorm showing up on the modeling to thunderstorms. And the latest GFS brings rain through here late Tuesday, and then the Arctic air charges down behind it. So I have zero confidence in how Tuesday and Wednesday is going to unfold next week, as we're having trouble even resolving what's going to happen over the next 3 or 4 days. So that's how things look. Cold air mass moving in for sure. It's going to be drastically colder tomorrow and Friday into the weekend, and we'll have to see what type and duration of precip we see over the weekend. Again, I still think some wintry precip is possible. I'm leaning toward it not being tremendously significant, but I'm not ready to commit to that idea just yet until I get more confidence in the timing of this thing. All right, that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day today, and God bless.